anybody think about what circumference might be? Bryn?
Around?
Yeah. So we're working on finding how far around the circle. Will you grab a highlighter in that pencil box? It doesn't matter what color you pick because you're going to switch in a minute.
Is this what the notes are here? We'll switch over to
Here. So take whatever color you're starting with. It literally does not matter. Whatever color you're starting with. Circumference, like Bryn just said, around the circle. So then, with the same color, Bryn, don't go too far ahead. With the same color, trace around the circle. And then someone in first hour said, oh, so like the perimeter, but with a circle. Exactly. And circles are special, so they gave it a special name, not called perimeter, called circumference. Any other shape, you call it perimeter. So far, Sophie.
What about an oval?
That's a very good question, but I don't know the answer. Do you think oval of circumference?
Oval?
I think circumference is specifically for a circle. An oval is a not perfect circle, like anywhere.
Skinny. Flattened a little bit.
Okay, switch colors. Literally does not matter. In order to find circumference, you need one of two things. One of them is called the diameter. And it says it passes through the center of the circle.
Does it say chord or chord?
It says chord.
Oh.
It literally cuts the circle in half right through the middle from one edge to the other edge. Is the diameter.
I'm checking to see if the markers really do have paper.
Highlighters don't usually. Sometimes they do.
All friends really do.
Third color. The other important circle word is the radius. You can highlight the whole thing, but mine will cover up completely if I do that. The radius has one point on the outside of the circle, and then it ends right smack dab in the middle. Do you notice anything about the radius and the diameter? Isabel?
They like connecting it across the versus.
They both touch the middle, for sure. What else about radius and diameter? Are you looking at it? Radius and diameter. Godiva?
Is the radius half of the diameter?
Oh my goodness! If you take the radius, nope. If you take, not going well for me, the diameter and divide it by 2 or half, like Godiva just said, you will get the radius. Wait this down.
Yeah.
If you take the diameter divided by 2, or Godiva said half, the same thing, you will get the radius. The opposite would be, Drake, thank you. Radius times 2 equals the diameter. Because multiplying and dividing are the opposites of each other, right? So diameter divided by 2 is the radius times 2 is the diameter. So if you look at it, picture a little math guy. If he walks all the way, oh, he's not walking. If he walks all the way across, he has just walked the diameter. But if he only walks halfway across, it's the radius. It's a really important 7th grade thing to know the difference. All the way across, diameter, halfway across, the radius. If you forget, you have a picture of it right now on your notes. There was this 4th thing called a chord, which your 7th grade self does not need to know. Your 10th grade geometry self might need to know it. A chord is just a fancy word for any line that goes across the circle. Notice in the picture it doesn't go through the middle. But your 7th grade self doesn't have to worry about that so much. Your 7th grade self does need to worry about circumference, radius, diameter. What's the radius?
Half the diameter.
Half the diameter. So diameter, you're walking all the way across. Radius, you're walking halfway across, stop in the middle. So far, so good? Now remember, we started this off with, I can calculate circumference. So, in order to calculate circumference, we need one of 2 things. Both of these equations can help us find the circumference. The first one says C. What do you think C stands for? Circumference equals, pi.
Who's supposed to write pi?
You put 2 lines and the squiggle on. Mine looks different every single time, right? What does it mean when it's smushed together with something? Times d diameter. So one option is I could take pi times the diameter and it would tell me the circumference. Or second option, circumference equals 2. I wonder where this 2 came from.
Radius.
What do you mean?
It's half, or it's times 2 to get to diameter.
Yeah, that's right. 2 times the radius would be the diameter. So this one, since it has an R in it for radius, you also have to have a times 2 and a pi. Question is, Mel?
Do we have to do every single stitch of pi, like all the like point?
That is an excellent question. It's kind of an unwritten math rule. You can't find the end of pi, right? So anytime you see the pi symbol, it's an understanding that if you were in Big Lake or Maple Grove or Monticello or Hanover or, what did I miss? Elk River, no matter where you're going to 7th and 8th grade math, you're going to use 3.14 It's just an understanding that everyone has. So even if Zach wasn't with us in this room, he would still be using 3.14 at another school too. Isabel.
Oh, why is pi a thing? Is it specifically for this?
Oh my gosh, pi is so cool. It's the coolest thing. No matter what size circle you have, if you take the circumference of the circle divided by the diameter of the circle, no matter how big the circle is, you have 3.14159 every single time. It doesn't matter if the circle is this small or this big, you get pi every time. Isn't that cool? No, Preston, you're not impressed? Also, no matter how big or small the circle, if you take circumference divided by diameter, it's pi every time. You don't even have to divide it. You know you will get pi. Maddie.
The two numbers up there by C, is that pi?
Pi times d.
Okay.
Isabel.
If you write 413, you actually, it kind of resembles the word pi.
I've seen some math shirts that have that. It does kind of resemble the word pi. So, is an understanding that when we see pi, pi is going to hop out, and every single 7th grader in the whole state and country is going to put in a 3.14 there. And then either your diameter number is going to pop out or your radius number. The 2 stays every single time. Are you with me so far? Questions?
Thanks for putting these letters here. I really love making my notes cool.
Oh, you're so welcome. All right then, let's try one. Like your first box. First of all, I have to know, what would this be called? Here's another way I think about it. Diameter is a longer word than radius, so diameter goes across more of the circle. And then remember I had 2 choices. I could use circumference equals pi times diameter, or circumference equals 2 times pi times radius. Which one should I use this time? Right, the one with the D, because the picture shows me diameter. Out pops pi, in pops. Out pops D, in pops 6. Why were they smushed together? Don't be too excited when I tell you this. Drake, put your chocolate away. We are so excited to practice multiplying today. Yeah. Because you know what happens if we don't practice it? You forget what to do. Put the longer number on top.
For multiplying decimals, we just pretend the decimals are there, right?
The shorter number on the bottom, even if the longer one is smaller, that's okay. Pretend it says 314 times 6. 4th graders can do 314 times 6.
4th graders.
I think they could.
Writing it down, yes.
And then count my decimal spots. I know we need to practice this. Someone in first hour said, wait, how come you're not lining it up? We don't need to line it up for multiplying. This is why we need to practice. Say it again.
That isn't how they got, they invented a calculator for instead of the ends.
maybe I half agree with that. Does it help us sometimes? For sure. I don't want to add the mean and divide by 10 if there's 10 numbers either. But we do have to still remember how to multiply because we will forget. So today's just a good day. The numbers are a little bit smaller. We can practice.
Smaller, are these gonna get huge, like 5,870?
Well, like one of the
Million.
means a couple days ago added up to 2021. That would be big.
Yeah.
This is decently small, so it's a good time to practice.
I just knew it had to be like, I thought it might have been 188, but I was like, 5 times 6 is like 18, so you just think that's close to it.
You mean you were estimating? Oh my gosh. Bryn said if I had a 3 and I had a 6, I should be close to 18. What? What, Bryn? Allison?
We have to write down the C anymore since we didn't do it.
Oh,
We write C.
you can totally write C equals
I already wrote that.
circumference equals. You go right ahead. Box number 2. Ooh, no picture. Which option should I pick, Pete?
The second one, because there's a 2 in the problem.
Well, what word is it telling us?
Or a diameter, so you need the first one.
Yeah, pick the one with the D if it says diameter. Look at that. Oh, pops pie in pops. Oh, pops D in pops.
Do you have to make some kind of fraction? When you do 2.8,
I was hoping people would notice. I had 2 noticers. The first noticer says, what am I going to do with this? Should I make it improper? Not a bad idea. The second noticer says, wouldn't it be easier if they were both decimals?
So it's 2.8.
So 4/5. 8/10. Wait, I have a 10th place. 2.8. It's a good day to practice multiplying.
4 times 8.
Nothing else I'd rather be doing. Here's where the person in first hour said, wait, you're not lining it up. Here, I don't have to.
Should we round it up or should we leave it with the 3 decimals?
Decimals are good. Isabel,
So we're gonna put a 0 in for the second one, right?
when you start the next line, you mean?
Yeah.
Yep. If I take Bryn's strategy and estimate, I'm supposed to be close to 9. Am I close to 9?
Yeah. Do we have to round it to the nearest 10 or anything?
I don't think you need to round it. Okay. Maddie?
How did you make the second one? Yeah. Because I got 2 times 4 and that's 8. I got 600. Or I got 6,280. That's what I got to do. I think we did 2 times 4. Yeah.
Sure did. Oops, that's not going to help my problem.
Yes, it's probably complex.
So how about this? 8.792?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for helping me. Sorry, did not mean to cause stress. Box 3? Which one do you think I should use?
R.
Yeah, the one with the R. Wait, why is there a 2? The radius is only halfway across, so I'd have to double it to get to my diameter. Oh, do you know what I'd do? Whole numbers first, commutative property. I think everyone can do 2 times 30. Oh, that's going to be so much easier.
Doesn't it make more sense to do 30 in the 14 first?
Maybe to you. You can do that. You can do any order you want. Commutative property. You pick whichever order you would like. Here's another shortcut for you. Ignore the 0 for a minute. I like 6 better than 60. I can't make you do any shortcut, but they're kind of nice. Then put my 0 back. How many decimals?
2.
How's my math this time? Did I goof it up?
Yeah, that's what I got.
Feeling good? Feeling great? Bryn?
With the next one, no.
Speaking of the next one, which formula should I use? The one with a D? So it's kind of good to have both options. Savannah, what do you think is going to pop in when the pi pops out?
3.14.
Thank you. Addison, what do you think is going to pop in when the D pops out? Thank you. You could do the shortcut again. Ignore the zeros for a minute. It helped. Then put my zeros in the answer.
That's what I was saying, we're straight away.
Look at that. 1, 2, 1, 2. I didn't need those silly zeros after all. Could I have them?
Yeah.
Sure. Do you think we have the hang of it?
Yep. I've been writing fancy in my day.
Whoa.
I've been trying to find notes in your hands.
That is